everyone, welcome to the breakdown of the game. Manchester United have beat Nottingham Forest 2-0, goals from Antony and Diego Dalot secure the Champions League spot, maybe even more. Let's see. Not as bad as we first initially thought it would be, was it, Sam?
No.
Quite nice actually to watch.
Yeah, I was prepared for the worst. I was thinking with all these injuries, the state of the team, who's going to play, and then Sabitzer pulled out in the warm up. I was just like, Malacia wasn't in the lineup. I was like, oh, for God's sake, this could be a bad day, really bad day. But really professional performance. After 20 minutes, we just looked totally in control. Second half, put it away, and 3 points in the bag. Top four look like it's on its way to being secured. Very happy.
Absolutely. I've got a really, really important question to ask you. I can't state how important question this is, and if anyone knows the answer, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Can anyone tell me why Jack Butland was warming up? Anyone know?
David De Gea tweeted something.
Had like a knock or something.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
He was. Gary Neville mentioned that he was limping or something, or doing something funny. The camera didn't pan to him, so I couldn't see. But it was like in the first few minutes or something like that.
I must have missed that because, like Sam said, there it's a bit sort of off. Malacia just wasn't there, something to do with his knee. Like Scott McTominay weren't there, Luke Shaw, and you're just like, what is going on here? There's some mad curse floating about. Because now even Butland's warming up, and we're like, fucking hell. Just waiting for Martial to go down at that point. But before we get into like the nitty gritty details of the game, Dave, going into this game, vitally important one, that we got the 3 points with Newcastle and Spurs dropping points as well.
Yeah, historically, this is one of those games where we'd lose. Because I don't know if you all remember, there'd be games or seasons under Chelsea or whatever where I remember this one specifically where we were clawing our way back from, like, we had great performances over in December all the way through January or something like that. And then it's like, oh yes, we can go top four if we win here, and then we just lose.
Always happens. Yeah.
It was like we went from sixth to sixth or something from like a 10-11 game like run of not losing or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, we notoriously never capitalise, especially under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well at times. Like, we need it. Come on, just this week, please do it, because we'll go above them. And it's like, no, we put in an underwhelming performance. But it wasn't like that today, was it, Dan? It was quite a well-rounded performance, I'd say.
Yeah, overall performance, I think, considering all the injury scares we had and the start of, especially with the Maguire ones, so it just took me off. Like it was so scary in the first half, but I think the overall performance, especially in the midfield area, has been really good, and which has kept us in the game and seen us through to this game. And I'm so happy that we won this game not 1-0 but 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the one. Once you got the one, you're like, yeah, that's good, but we need to go kill this game off now. Because the longer you leave it, the later you leave it, you start getting into the 80th minute, you're like, oh, fucking hell, what's going to happen here? But yeah, thankfully, we've got the job done. TS7's in the chat saying Antony's best performance in a Manchester United shirt that today. Very happy with that. Understand how important that game was. Bruno was the talisman, and Eriksen looked calm and classy as well, and I tend to agree with that. He was good today, wasn't he, Antony? Sam, you're not Antony, your name's Sam. He was good. Antony was good today, wasn't he, Sam? Is what I meant to say.
I wish. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think one of his most complete performances for United. Went left and cut in. There was about maybe 3 shots he probably should have scored, shouldn't he? There was one that just right at the outside of the post. The other one that was very close to, like, I think Maguire was coming in at the back post, and there was another couple as well. Went on his right as well, put some balls into the box, which are always fantastic. And that pass to Dalot for the goal was...
The ball carrying as well from the right side
fantastic.
To the midfield, like little
really good performance. And if he can sort of do that sort of performance every week, we're on to a winner. He's fantastic because he works backwards, like he goes backwards, does the dog work, can carry the ball forward, and he can shoot, and he's now getting passing together, and he's got a bit of aggression about him. So yeah, one of his best performances. It's going to be hard to pick a man of the match today, I'll tell you that. Because there's a couple of standout performances I want to highlight, and Antony was definitely one of them.
And before we get on to the other ones with Bruno Fernandes and Christian Eriksen as well, especially in my opinion, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, Antony Day's weird one, isn't it? Because he's had a bit of a mixed start. There's been inconsistencies, there's been dips, there's been frustrations. But do you think if you can keep this consistency now, you can start to see the player that Ten Hag signed and Ten Hag really wanted?
Yeah, absolutely. He's never going to be the sort of... It's tough because people look at Saka and go, oh, why can't maybe Antony do that? But I think Saka's completely different. Saka's just more like... Saka's just got some weird vibe where he's more like able to just create something out of nothing. Whereas players like Antony and to the similar extent Sancho require other people to sort of help them out. And we saw today, what did we have? We had runners all over the place, and Antony was just incredible, finding like little pockets of passes and doing what he did. That was a performance you would have seen at Ajax. So like, it just give him what he needs, facilitate him, and he's gonna be a hell of a player.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Only 21 years old, by the way. He's got the right attitude. He works extremely hard. He's got quality. It's his first season in the Premier League. You can only imagine what he's going to go on to do next season. Casemiro, you had your cocktail out today, didn't you? You was just like sitting back, sipping your margarita. Like the two midfielders were doing wonders, weren't they?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't see Casemiro much on the pitch because the whole the play was towards the more on the Eriksen and Bruno's side. So
absolutely,
Casemiro has done his part well, but I didn't see him much because the other players were doing a lot on the attacking wise. So I think, but yeah, that Casemiro in the team in itself gives a huge boost in the team. And if I'm not wrong, the stat says that whenever we have started Casemiro, Bruno, and Eriksen in the game, we have never lost the game.
Yeah, 100%. It was fantastic today. What about the defence, Sam? Because Harry Maguire had a bit of a shaky start, to say the least, didn't it? It was a little bit all over the place. It was on 3 occasions. I had my head in my hand saying, what the fuck is going on here? Like, a simple 5-yard pass puts it out. You had the handball situation. You had
yellow card,
very shaky.
Yellow card.
Yeah, the yellow card.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, God. And then you was kind of fearing the worst, weren't you? But I feel like the narrative around him is, after this game, which I've already seen on Twitter and already seen everywhere else, is like, shit, blah, blah, blah. But I actually thought he did quite well to recover in terms of like the second half. I thought he was quite solid. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, first sort of 15, 20 minutes, him, and then as a result, the whole team just seemed kind of disjointed, didn't they? Like, it was just kind of a bit panicky, a bit all over the place. Like you said, there was the yellow card within 3 minutes. I was like, oh, he's going to get sent off here, isn't he? It's just going to be one of those games where he does 2 stupid things and like completely shits the bed. The handball, I've seen them given, but I've seen them not given.
I thought it would.
So
I thought he'd give it.
I don't know what the interpretation of the rule is anymore, to be honest with you. So it's 50-50 at this point. He's kind of a lightning rod for hate, Harry Maguire, isn't he? He's just like the one player that everybody just sort of aims their venom at him. If he's having a slightly bad day, everybody just goes, he's fucking just the pile on. So I get it to an extent. But after that, I thought he recovered, had a solid game. There was some passing. He got forward on the ball. I think he made some guy snap his ankles as well at one point with a turn.
So, like, sent to the gulag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if Varane is going to be out for 3 weeks, as has been reported, and he can have more games like the 70 minutes rather than the first 20, then we should be all right. He's just, get quick players in behind him, like we saw with that. I forget the guy's name. I'm sorry. He the big
Adeyemi.
Yeah, Adeyemi, big lad. If he has people like him against him, then he might struggle because obviously he doesn't have the yard of pace, and he tends to foul. But apart from that, I thought he recovered really, really well. Clean sheet, so can't ask for much more.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, more welcome to add anything onto the Maguire's, your assessment of Maguire, Dave. But Christian Eriksen as well. We know Sabitzer got injured in the warm-up. He kind of gone under the radar a little bit today. I don't know if you agree with that as well. Bruno got a lot of praise. Antony's got a lot of praise. But I thought Eriksen was fucking fantastic as well.
Yeah, I'll just add to the Maguire thing. He did very well because he basically played that entire game on a yellow, didn't he? So
yeah, that's it.
Better play to him. That's a tough sort of situation to be in, especially when you've got like someone pacey against you like that. So yeah, well done, Harry. But Eriksen, another sort of in between Bruno and Casemiro. We were saying we didn't really notice Casemiro today because he didn't have loads to do. Eriksen was just sort of the person who just kept everything ticking over, moving the ball around quickly, putting in some really nice crosses. There was a really funny stat that got shown. I can't remember at what point in the game it was, but it was like Forest had like 30 odd passes in the final third, and Bruno and Eriksen between them had like 58. And it just that just shows how sort of nuts it was. Yeah. Eriksen was quality today. Really nice to have him back.
Yeah, it's what an option to have. The midfield, but not even what. It's weird because last year all we was talking about was the midfield and how it's shit and how we've got no depth and like it was just McFred all the time. Now you look at the situations in the pitch where attack were a little bit light in certain areas with Rashford being out and Garnacho being out as well, and then the defence with obvious injuries to Lissandro and Varane. Do you feel like that midfield, Dan, could maybe maintain us for the next couple of weeks going forward with the amount of injuries we've got?
Yeah, there has to, because these combination have been the best for us as well. I'm still fearing that we should not get another injury, because we do not have anyone else
Yeah.
left, and all the other players who are injured, they are on a long term injury. Uh, but at the same time, if coming back to Ericsson, the thing with Ericsson is that he does all the basics perfect. So all the basic thing, he does it perfect, and which was lacking in the last season when we had McTominay and Fred. They were not doing the basics right. So that's what all was needed in that midfield. And players like Casemiro and Ericsson, they provide you that thing. And even today, on part of the defense wise, also I can see that Ericsson was really good when it comes to defending as well.
Yeah.
And he has won a lot of tackles and a lot of ground duels he has won. So I think that game, that stability he and Casemiro built and from that midfield base, which gave Bruno a bit of more license to go forward and do his stuff. And to me, Bruno Fernandes is the man of the match. That is maybe a discussion
Same.
for the coming time. But personally, I would say that Bruno was the man of the match for me.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. We've got people in the chat. Make sure you get your opinions in on who was your man of the match. We're going to get into the ratings very, very shortly. But look, 8 games left in the Premier League. Champions League football looks like it could be returning, which is nice. We've got a clean sheet, 2 goals. You feeling positive about top 4, Sam?
Yeah. Obviously, everything went our way this weekend, didn't it? Newcastle lost, Spurs lost, Chelsea lost. I mean, that's not top 4, but it's always funny.
Relegation, then.
Yeah. Arsenal also drew, which I fucking love it. Absolutely love it. Arsenal bottling this league. I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it. So yeah, everything went our way. I was well happy with it. So bring it on. I think if we can get, we've got Brighton obviously and Sevilla coming up, so the cup competitions. I fear that we may go out of one of them. But then after that, is it Spurs the game back in the league?
Yeah, so we've got Villa, Spurs in the league. I don't know which one's first. I think it might be the Spurs game, but yeah, we've got Sevilla, Brighton, then Spurs and Villa.
I get Spurs depending on which Spurs show up, because if it's the Spurs that we've seen lately, we could paste them into oblivion. So that could be an interesting game, and if we beat them, I think that sort of holds them off from getting into the top 4 completely. I think they're done then, and it's just a straight fight between us and Newcastle. But Newcastle have looked wobbly as of late. Like since they beat us, they've not looked super strong. So I think we should be on for top 4, if not 3rd. I'd say.
I was really surprised with Aston Villa on Saturday. Like they blew Newcastle away. Ollie Watkins as well was on absolute fire. How do you see that top 4 shaping up now, Dave? What do you think if you was to kind of hang your hat on it now? Who do you think's getting the top 4? And are you confident we can solidify our place there?
I think we will. And you know what? I have a really sneaking feeling that Villa might just sneak in there.
They could, couldn't they? I've had this as well.
Since Emery came in, I think it's probably still the same. Villa have accumulated the 3rd most points out of any other team in the league.
Yeah.
Watkins has had 15, 16 goal contributions since the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's been unreal. And if he can just keep this up, keep Watkins fit, like Newcastle dropping off, Spurs like just being Spurs, like there's no reason why Villa can't look up at the table and go, you know what, let's get Champions League.
6 points away they are from the top 4. Under Steven Gerrard, they were a relegation team, and now Unai Emery's got them 6 points off top 4. So
insane.
But the positive point here is for us is we are 6 points clear of the 5th place Tottenham, and I think still and another one game we have in our hand. So if we win that, it makes like a 9-point gap. So I think top 4 is cemented. To be honest, if we lose like 3+ games, so if we win our 5 games out of the 8, so I think the top 4 is cemented. But now the discussion is between us and the Newcastle, who will be getting the 3rd one, and I don't want to go into play for a playoff to qualify for the Champions League.
But I think if you look at some of the games that Villa have got left as well, I think they've still got Brighton to play, Spurs to play,
us,
and someone else as well in the mix. Yeah, and us as well. So they could do it. They could more than well do it. But
I may retract that. I have just looked at the table, so it's tough, man. If they won every single game from here to the end of the season, they could do it. But like they're on They're on 50 with 31 played. You've got Brighton underneath them on 49 with 29 played. So they've Brighton could still make a surge for it, but they've looked all season like they're just going to stay underneath it. Then you've got Spurs 31, played 53 points. Newcastle 30 played 56 points, and us 30 played 59 points. So it's tough. I'm still going to say United get third or fourth at least, but I honestly couldn't choose. Sorry, go on, Dan.
Yeah, they can challenge Tottenham for the 5th place for the Europa League, but I don't see them into the top 4.
Yeah, but even still, it'd be a great season for Villa, innit, if they was getting to the Europa League, to be fair. Absolutely, considering where they was. Right, with that being said, I think we covered everything. We touched on the goals, didn't we? There was a couple of opportunities that I missed out on Bruno Fernandes on was it a short corner? I think, and he just smacked Keylor Navas.
Yeah, he played a 1-2 with Eriksen.
Yeah, fantastic. I didn't realise he saved it at first. I was like, oh my God. Like, Navas today put an absolute world-class performance for them. Like, he's obviously...
there's a reason he's a Champions League level goalkeeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he really is.
That he's a Forest.
It is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
If you had a chance to choose between De Gea and Navas, who would you go?
I like Navas. I do really like Navas. I'll leave it at that.
They're probably around level, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd probably say. But I do really like Navas.
There was a couple of
criticisms you level at De Gea, you could also level at Navas. He doesn't seem like he's the best at coming and claiming things, and he doesn't seem like he's amazing.
Quite small, isn't he?
So it's
quite small, Navas.
Yeah.
There was a couple of
Forest is the kind of team where De Gea would look amazing because of the amount of shots they face, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, De Gea's pulling out some worldies here."
Yeah.
Keep it a minute.
Sorry, Dave. We read De Gea only most of the part on what the saves he makes, but Keylor Navas makes similar type of kind of saves, to be honest. And I think in the last World Cup when he was playing for Costa Rica, and he was the best goalkeeper of the tournament, almost like the saves he has made and kept Costa Rica in the tournament. So that was like the saves he makes are similar to what De Gea does for us.
Yeah, you're not a goalkeeper of Real Madrid, are you, if you're a bog standard lad? Do you have anything to add there, Sam?
I was just saying, De Gea, there was a couple of moments of distribution that were really impressive. Out to Sancho, he likes that
good
ball.
Game today.
Likes that ball out to Sancho, a couple of times out to Antony and stuff. So he seems to be improving that. There was one stray pass where he just went straight through the middle into a Nottingham Forest player, which annoyed me. But you can't have everything, can you? But yeah, there were some good points. For the very little that he had to do, I thought he was excellent.
Yeah. With that being said, let's kick the ratings off with that because that's a good starting point. David De Gea, won't try to do too much depth analysis and stuff because there's obviously 4 of us. But David De Gea, what would we give him? C+, B-? You're on that area.
I'd go B-. I'd go B-. He's got a clean sheet. Didn't have much to do. Good distribution points. Didn't do much wrong, so I'd go solid B-. I thought he was good.
Agreed, Dave?
I wouldn't even have the minus. I don't think. Like you said, he did one thing wrong. He even come out and claimed a couple of crosses, which is something he gets slated for not doing. So I think a solid B's fair.
There was targeting him on that, wasn't there? And you can see that clearly on the corners. Like there was all.
They did target him. Maybe B- is fair. I forgot about some of the corners.
Yeah. Dan?
Yeah, B- would be good just for that distributions, the improvement in his distribution.
Wan-Bissaka, like obviously we do it like goalkeeper, right back, but the way he played today, he was like a midfielder. Wan-Bissaka, it was mental.
Yeah, they both were at points.
Yeah, really tucking in and then really pushing up at times. It's nice to see his improvement because you would never ever, I think Gary Neville said it in commentary as well, you never consider him to be that kind of player. But he's developed so nicely under Erik Ten Hag, and it's weird going into the summer now what they're going to do with that situation. Because we're clearly pushing for Frimpong. So is he going to go? Is he going to move? Like it'd be sad because I think he's still got a good age profile and he still looks good, man.
He didn't start a game under Ten Hag apparently till January against Forest. That was the first game he started. So that was half a season almost. He never started a game for us, and now arguably he's probably the better right back at the minute, isn't he? In form. Although Dalot did play fantastically well on the left back, I will say.
Yeah. He was
I thought he's really good. His passing was crisp. Some great tackles needed. Yeah, and he was pushing way up high into the midfield, which is something you never expect Wan-Bissaka to do. And he's developing a really good relationship with Antony, I think. I think that relationship's becoming really, really good. So exactly. I would give him a B. I thought he was solid. I thought he was really, really good.
Yeah, 1B, do we agree with that, lads, Dan and Dave?
Yeah. Good to see that.
I'm happy for that.
Yeah, good to see that his chemistry with Antony is improving, because that was seen in today's game. And I think that combination of having two right backs, one who is good in defense wise and one who is good in attack wise, is positive for us.
Yeah, nice balance in it. That was the thing always under like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ragnick, whoever it was. That right hand side would just chop and change consistently. It'd be Elanga and Wan-Bissaka, or it'd be Dalot and Sancho, or it'd be like it was just you never could get time to bed in a relationship. And Wan-Bissaka and Antony, you can see that now, starting to discover each other's patterns. So we'll go with the B for Wan-Bissaka. Maguire's a strange one because we touched on it before. He had a strange start. It wasn't the best. If he continued like that, it could have been an E rating, to be honest. But brought it back, did really well towards the end. Do we give him just above average, C plus for Barry?
I'd say C plus.
If
he would have had a full 90 minutes like he played the rest of 70 minutes, he probably could have got up to a B minus. But I think that 20 minutes, 20 minutes sort of let him down a little bit. So I'd go with a C plus.
Yeah, agreed, lads.
Yeah.
So
it's like first half like a C minus and second half like a C plus. So with an average C.
And likewise, Victor Lindelof, I thought he was like, you know what it is with Lindelof, right? Whenever he comes in, he does a job. And I don't think this is why I put him when I did the short on the YouTube short about underrated players. He does go under the radar because Lindelof always does a job regardless, whatever the situation is. He always comes in and performs well, in my opinion. And I don't think, unless I missed anything in the game, I couldn't see anything like any outstanding errors.
He's
nothing, he played well.
Yeah, he's nothing special, but he doesn't do much calamity wrong, does he? Either.
That's it.
Yeah.
So would we give him a similar rating, C plus, to Lindelof?
I'd give him higher than Maguire purely because he didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. Diego Dalot got a goal today. Fantastic goal, taking it really well. See, I think was it Vegas at the time when he scored, and Vegas was pissed because he didn't take him through, and you could clearly see the run just going in behind. He timed it perfectly, and Antony and Dalot get on really well as well. You can see that connection. But yeah, scoring at left back, not his usual position. I thought he was good. I'd give him a B plus. I thought Dalot was decent. Maybe a B. I don't know.
No, I think Dalot was great today.
Yeah. I'd go.
And
B.
also against the players like Johnson, I think he would have struggled with the new position. So I think B plus should be a good.
I'd go B plus as well. He has played there for AC Milan, I think, when we loaned him out. So it's not like it's totally foreign to him. Like he can play there, and I thought he was excellent. Got a great goal, fantastic pass from Antony. So I go B plus. I thought he was solid.
I like this though because we've seen this with a lot of players. This is why we push versatility so much in the squad, because when we do have players out, whenever they've come in and in that opposite position where they don't usually play, they've done a really good job. Luke Shaw against Erling Haaland, Casemiro when he played centre back against Bournemouth, Dalot coming in today, like Bruno was the 6 against Everton. They've all come in and done a job, so I'm really happy with that, the versatility throughout. Moving into the midfield, Casemiro, we said he was a little bit quiet today. There was a couple of things where I was like, but then the second half, he kicked into gear a little bit more. You started to notice him a bit more. But I wouldn't give him anything over a C plus, to be honest.
I agree.
C for Casemiro. C plus.
C would be good.
He was just, he got on with things, and then. But I think we mentioned it on the last thing. When he's been out for a bit, he takes a bit, doesn't he? Takes him 2-3 games to get into the rhythm, and then he's firing past the best midfielder we have. So I think next game, it's against Sevilla. You'll probably see the best of Casemiro.
Yeah, it was nice to see the other two we're going to mention now, Bruno and Eriksen, just really take control. Like it was all their midfield. That the amount of space they had as well. Forest helped us in that regard, but yeah, they was pretty much flawless today. So with that in mind, Christian Eriksen, what do we give him? B plus? I think. I
would
give him A minus.
Yeah, I would go A minus as well. I thought
A minus.
I thought he's just below Bruno in terms of how good and how influential he was. I thought Bruno just edged him, so I would have gone Bruno A, and he's my man in the match, and then Eriksen just below him at A minus. But it's not much between them. But they were both fantastic today.
Dave?
Yeah, I was gonna say I would like B plus, A minus, definitely around that level. Like extremely important for just, as I mentioned that start before about the final third passes. Between him and Bruno, they just completely dominated Forest. They didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah, it was fantastic today. So Bruno is an A, man of the match. Is he everyone's man of the match, or have you guys got different? He's
For me,
I
mine.
think it's probably fair. Like it's tough. It's you feel bad not giving it to Antony, given he got a goal
Yeah.
and an assist. But Bruno was like Bruno was at the heart of everything United did today.
He was the best player. Sometimes, like, these ratings get swayed by goals and assists, and I understand why. But in terms of who was the most influential, important, and best performer on that pitch, for me, it was Bruno
It
Fernandes.
was Bruno, yeah.
According to the
I would have
poll,
given him.
sorry, Dan, you
Yeah,
finish.
go ahead. Yeah, so I would have given him A+ if he would have buried that free header into the goal.
Yeah, he did. It was a bit of a bad miss, that one, to be fair. But that opportunity as well could have got his goal, when we discussed before, from a short corner.
Yeah.
What's the poll saying, Sam?
Yeah, so the poll is saying I put a vote out, so he was the man of the match, Bruno or Antony, and it's currently at 64% for Bruno and 36% for Antony. So
yeah, you can see both sides, can't you? You can see both sides. Do we give Antony an A- then? A for Antony?
yeah, I'd give him an A-. I thought one of his best games, as we touched on earlier, for United so far. An assist, fantastic pass from Dallo, really good goal. Was influential throughout the entire game. You saw all the qualities that he has and why Ten Hag wanted him so badly in this team. So I'd go A-. I thought he was really, really good.
Yeah. And I can't speak. I was going to say Antony. Aaron's in the chat saying I'd give man of the match to Antony. He needs his flowers. Gets far too much criticism. Again, we can see both sides, can't we? Yeah, we can see both sides. Maybe give him a share.
I think in the same way, Nick, that you mentioned that Maguire is a bit of a scapegoat. I was thinking about this while I was watching Antony. Like, Antony could do like 3, 4, 5, 6 things in a row right in a United shirt, like just like maybe taking someone on or playing a nice pass. But then it feels like as soon as he does something slightly wrong or he makes a little back pass, people groan like in the same way they wouldn't with other players. I think he's been treated quite harshly, I think, amongst the fan base. But it's nice to see that like he's starting to like put in some really strong back-to-back performances.
Yeah, starting to.
In my opinion, today we saw a better, like, advanced level of Antony's left foot. But I would like to see more of like using his right foot also just for the crosses and.
Oh, he did today, didn't he?
He did a couple. Yeah, he did a couple.
Yeah, he's been doing that more a lot recently, like cutting out and working one. Like we could have easily scored from it. Navas did well to palm it away from everybody.
Yeah, and also using Van Bissaka for that overlapping passes, so that was seen in today's game. So that was also a positive.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons Frimpong needs to come in, I think, or someone like him, because he's just constantly making overlaps for Leverkusen, and that's what Antony needs.
He's got like 8 goals and 6 assists for Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, it's because he's played more as a winger because of the manager's thingy. Then
yeah, similar to Dumfries in that respect, and like the Netherlands.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think Frimpong's younger, and he's got probably more potential in that respect.
And a good price as well from what we see in that 25-30 mil. Very good price. Antony, A- then. Are we all agreed with that? Yeah, cool. Anthony Martial, look, it wasn't outstanding performance. He was a little bit quiet, but when he gets the difference from him to Weghorst, in terms of when you're trying to play into a man, like with his back to the goal, he's fantastic. He leaves space for other players. Like, that's what I love from him. Sometimes that gets unnoticed, but I would give him, similar to Casemiro, I think a C+. He was a little bit quiet, but he did have good moments. So I think that's fair, in my opinion.
It's clear that he's still not quite 100% yet, because he obviously got taken off at, is it 70 minutes they're taking him off?
Yeah, I think so.
He's clearly not 100% yet. So I still think we're yet to see full flow Anthony Martial yet, but I think it's coming. It's obviously on its way. Ten Hag is clearly managing him very, very carefully. They had the 30 minutes appearance off the bench. He's doing 60, 70 minutes. Hopefully he'll get 90 minutes really soon. So I thought, average performance, C+, but yeah, you're right. He's so much better to have in there than Weghorst. It's night and day, the difference.
And you saw that when Weghorst came on, trying to play into him. It's like smacking it off a wall. Just like, he's got no, not class. I don't know if, maybe it is class, the word that I'm looking for. No class about him. Like, he's not silky with it. He's very rigid, in my opinion.
No, he is like, it's like Giroud, but if you took away the silkiness.
Yeah, basically, pretty much. Just a bus. Go on, Dan, what did you say?
Yeah, from today's game, I think we can see two sides of Antony. One is with the hold-up play, which was very nice. But when it comes to when your wingers have the ball and they are about to cross in, you can see that Antony was not there in the right place, and there were like two positions, two instances where I think one was from Bruno Fernandes and another one was from Dallo or someone. And the ball was put in just front of the goal, it just rolled past all the other players, and where and that moment you want all your strikers to be at that place, and these type of goals are scored by the strikers like Kane, Harry
Yeah.
Kane, and Haaland. So you want your attackers to be in the right place at the right time when your wingers have the ball.
Yeah, it's clear we need an elite number 9 in them positions to be bagging them goals to take us to that next level. But if he can stay fit now until the end of the season, fingers crossed, he's going to be mega important with all the injuries considered.
To be honest, I was scared whenever he was making a tackle or a challenge. I was like,
I
don't
know
touch
he
me.
went down at one point, and I was
Yeah.
like, no, please get up quick.
There was a header
which
as
he
well.
thankfully did.
There was a header I think he should have buried. It was back
Should have
post.
scored.
Should
Yeah,
have scored that. Like,
100%.
Another game where we should have scored like 4.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
it's promising that we're getting to the point where we're like, I've seen a few like Ten Hag's coaching like 4 or 5-0 wins, which is great. It's nice to be in that position again, but like you just feel, because football is really cruel, because it's really low scoring, that you could have easily potentially lost this game with 2 if any of those had been on target. Like they had 6 shots. You've seen like teams lose these kind of games, but like we were fortunate. We were just so dominant. But we need to start battering teams.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
will
okay.
as soon as we get an elite number 9.
We need the goal difference.
one of the-
Our goal difference is
Yeah.
fucking shocking.
But we've
I
also
think
conceded
we're
a-
9 now. Yeah, we are.
8 or 9
Yeah,
compared
it's 9.
to 24 for Newcastle. I think 24, somewhere around 24.
Yeah, Newcastle on 24 and City run ding 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 50.
Fucking hell.
And there was
Yeah.
one moment, I think, when Felipe it was the centre back who had the header, and he just, from the very close range, he just
Yeah, just
So,
over.
yeah.
But in that respect, like I think 13 of them goals against us was against City and Liverpool, weren't they? We conceded 6
Yeah.
against City, the Etihad, and then 7 at Anfield. So that's why our score thing doesn't look as good as well. In fairness to us, or not in fairness to us. Just on the last rating with Jadon Sancho, Aaron Gregory saying Sancho needs to up his game. TS7 saying wish Sancho would become a bit more trigger happy, just delays and wants to please all the time. And then
He looks
Shazam
like he's
saying,
low on confidence.
Yeah.
he does a little bit. Shazam saying Dan is spot on with his Martial analysis as well. Yeah, Sancho, again, it's not. I still want more. That's what we're saying after every single game, and you want more for it. You can see the potential's there. Now, whether he needs certain players to come in and develop that relationship a bit more, but it's hard to say that when he's been here for 2.5 years, or just over 2.5 years. We do need to see more. Do we think he can? Have we got, what's the word I'm looking for? Do we believe in Sancho that he will come good?
It's got to the point.
I think, I think he will come good, but I don't know if that coming good will be for us.
Yeah. That's
Because
the
look at
thing.
who we've got. We got Rashford, who's basically nailed on our left hand side. When he plays, he's been pretty much world class this season. And then we've got Garnacho coming through as well. And I think Sancho, honestly, is probably behind both of those two on the left wing.
And 2 things they've got, Dave, as well, is pace, which Sancho doesn't have. It's vital. Yeah. I always mention this. For example, the analogy I use is, as a UFC, your ground thing that you want is wrestling. You need it. You absolutely need it. And for a winger, you need pace. I know there is certain exceptions and certain ones who do really well, but Sancho, if you can imagine if Sancho had pace, it'd be fucking frightening, because he's very intelligent. He's very good on the ball. His links play well.
He's good with his feet. He's got a really good shot on him. I just think he's lacking at the minute the killer instinct. Like nowhere, like when Rashford, when he just started on the thing, he just, everything he touched, he was just killing. He was just like one-on-one with a goalkeeper. He's going in, 100% going in. Sancho's just lacking that killer edge, that instinct of just, I can put this ball in the back of net, or I'm going to do 2 of these defenders and break their ankles and stick it top corner. He's just lacking that feeling within himself. And again, like Dave said, I think it will come back, but I just don't know if it's going to be at United. I really don't.
Yeah, I go on, Dan. I'll see you.
Yeah, with Sancho, it's like whenever he gets the ball and he starts off with the ball, like with a very good skills, and he starts off well, but at the end product is missing, the decision making is missing, and it's like at the end of his run, he just hits the opponent player, and today he was able to come to that place of inside the penalty box where if Rashford would have been, then it would have been a goal. So we have seen that in Sancho, but I can still see that from the last 2 to 3 games he has been improving very slowly, but I can see he's improving. But I'm still again coming back to the same point, like when Rashford comes back, he'll be on the left side, and on the right side you still have a couple of players there. So I'm not sure how Sancho would be fitting in this team. I don't see him starting on a regular basis with all the players we have in the team.
Yeah, I
But if
tend
a
to agree with that.
offer came in from in the summer, I think we should listen to it. Especially
Exactly.
because we have Rashford, and then we have Garnacho as an understudy.
Ahmad is also coming back.
Yeah, Ahmad's coming back as
Yeah,
well.
Ahmad's more on the other side, isn't he? Or potentially even in the middle.
Son.
But like, yeah,
Ahmad, what a guy.
Ahmad's been unreal this season. Fair play to him.
Unbelievable, my boy. Just a few more comments before we wrap the review up. TS7, I don't think it's about ability. I think it's a completely mental game, quite like Rashford was last year. I've got faith in him. And Aaron's saying, I think Sancho lacks physicality and pace in the Prem. You need at least one or both, and he has none. And I was mentioning this in the watch along. It reminds me that when Kagawa came and you had Mkhitaryan from the Bundesliga, sometimes just doesn't translate, and he hasn't got that physicality, the pace to deal with it. Whether
Donny in it.
I thought, there's another situation. I thought when he put Sancho as a 10, I thought, we could have something here, because when he came on against Leicester, I thought, he's got the qualities to play there. But then he tried him again in the next game and it didn't work. So I don't know. It is a minefield with Jadon Sancho at the minute. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe if they are going to be ruthless in the summer, and a 50 million offer comes in, then maybe they might look at it and just be like,
it's tough as well, because Sancho's playing 10, and he's probably playing 10 behind what Weghorst. So it's tough. I think it is tough to judge some of the players this season. Sancho's first season, like, he gets to deal with that crap under Ole and Rangnick, and then this season it's kind of just been, he's had Marcus been in like basically the form of his life, and we've not really had a striker. So he's had 2 seasons where he's struggled. Like, there is a hell of a footballer in there. You don't like up Messi-esque numbers in the Bundesliga and just turn to shit. Like, and he's still young, so but it's like really hard. I don't see how we can keep Sancho, Rashford, and Garnacho all happy on that left-hand side. I really don't.
We've still got a squad rebuild as well. Like, the squad rebuild isn't over yet. There's still dead wood in this team and these players that need to go, and needs to be quality players coming in. And Ten Hag said, like, when he came in, I'm not going to be able to do this in like 1 season. I'm not going to be able to do this in 2. Like, I'm not a magician. So it's going to take him 3, 4, 5 windows to get the team he wants and get it to the point where he's able to take titles and dominate games, etc. like that. And it might get to the point where we get some dead wood out and some quality players come in, and then you might see something from Sancho if we don't let him go at that point. But it's just a question of, do we keep hold of him and hope that's the case, or do you cut your losses now in the summer and go take 50 million for him and just get somebody else?
And see what happens in the summer as well, because at Dortmund he had Hakimi, Guerrero bombing on. We talk about Frimpong there. He was bombing on forward to open up space in these underlapping runs as well. Sancho needs that, and he had Erling Haaland.
Sancho didn't have that this game as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Dalot was sort of coming inside as opposed to going, because that's what Dalot likes to do.
Yeah, so then he becomes isolated in certain like situations, and he needs that number 9 to link with as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Martial can be that guy, but he's not been fit all season. So what do you want from him? Like we said, it's just a minefield with Jadon Sancho. But we've not even given a rating yet. We just spent 10 minutes just chatting about him. What do we give him? C plus, somewhere around there?
I'd go C-. I thought he was slightly below par. He did try. He made the effort, and he was trying to make things. It just wasn't happening. So for me, it was C-.
I agree.
Dan, you agree with that as well? Yeah, C-.
C-.
Okay, that is the ratings in. Let us know what you think of them, guys, and who your man of the match was as well. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. TS7 saying Ahmad is Nick's love child. He is. Ahmad McCabe's got a bit of a ring to it, to be fair. Wait for pre-season. He's cooking, mate. We're talking about attacking players. Ahmad's going to come back.
I think me and Nick might have to go to a game. Me with a Garnacho shirt on and him with an Ahmad shirt on.
Yeah.
I'll just go to that. Supporting our lads.
Yeah, going to do what I was going to do with when Dion came to Old Trafford with a cardboard cut out and just stand next to it like that and wait for him to notice. Yeah, let's see. Cheers for coming on, lads. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who's tuning in. And we play Sevilla on Thursday, so we'll have the preview on Wednesday. Many more shows coming up next week as well, exciting ones. So keep smashing a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on socials, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers for coming on, lads. Appreciate every single one of you, and have a lovely Sunday. Peace.
Cheers.
Have a good one, everyone.